Welcome to Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki, where inspiration meets action. This is your spot to grow, level up, and lead with fresh ideas. From sales to service, from frontline teams to executives, we're dropping weekly knowledge and insight to keep your store sharp, relevant, and profitable. Let's get into it. Welcome back. Today on the show, I'm thrilled to welcome someone truly exceptional in the world of video storytelling and brand building. Jarett Bellucci, founder of Bellucci Productions. He's a friend and he's been a colleague, and I've hired him before. He's a two-time Emmy Award-winning director and filmmaker. You've seen him on huge branded commercials and, well, maybe not him, but you've seen his work. And he's helped brands like Cadillac and BMW and Forbes. And if you're in Long Island, Sloman Security, all down the East Coast, maybe even the West Coast. But he's got powerful visuals. And here's the thing that I like about Jarett. His authentic storytelling truly is a niche. And he's been blending decades of high-end production experience with cutting-edge AI. And this is what we're going to lock in on today, because I imagine making cinematic quality content that's accessible for anyone in any budget now because of AI has expanded your business. So let's dive into how AI is reshaping commercial production. Welcome to the show.
What an intro. What an intro, Jen Suzuki.
Dude, you're a badass. I mean, I didn't even have time to list it all.
No, that was, I think my mom would be very proud of that introduction.
I'm so glad to have you.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Why don't we talk a little about your background first? And, you know, it's rich with award-winning storytelling. And I know firsthand because I've hired you before. You've done some great brand building videos for me, and you're exceptional. You're just high-level production. Most importantly, you love what you do, and you can tell by the quality of work that you pump out. How'd you first get into video and commercial production?
Well, you're going to laugh, but if I take you back to the start, I think it all started as a kid. I enjoyed telling stories, and my action figures were my actors, you know, and then as time went on, it developed into, wow, I could actually do this for real. And people want to play those parts and build these imaginative worlds I have in my head. And it just led me naturally into, at first, music videos. I did music videos. That kind of evolved into doing commercials, which mixed with my background in advertising. And that just developed into other things like branded content as time went on, longer television show formats, and eventually feature-length projects. So it's a consistent evolution in how stories are told, at least for me personally. And that's, I think, where it leads us today, which is AI.
So what really shaped your creative philosophy
when it comes to selling businesses?
Yeah.
I think it's important to just get to the heart of the matter. You know, I think that it doesn't matter what you're selling. Yeah. You have to connect with people, and you have to connect with the message that resonates with them and makes them react, whatever it is, vibrationally, whatever. Just, ooh, that car commercial, you know, you also have to, it's also luck. You got to be in the right moment, at the right spot, right timing. Someone's looking for a car, and you made a great commercial, and a car commercial appears, and the person goes, I connected with that. So to me, it's just about, like you said earlier, I do love what I do, and I love telling stories, and I particularly love getting the essence of what a company wants to say and putting it on the screen for people to digest, right?
Yeah, and really
Did that answer your
feel
question?
all the feels.
I think I'm yapping. What?
No, I think this is great, because I think, you know what, I always am interested in the root of a commercial, because we visually see one thing, but there's a lot to unpack behind each and every second of what you're able to see. You're trying to connect with people and their emotions, and you want them to feel, I'm guessing, I'm not an expert, I don't do this for a living, but you know, I mean, you want people to stop in their tracks and be like, Hey, I want to watch this. Okay, that hits home. Wait, it's so good. I'm going to remember this. And when the time is right for them to buy a car, but they know exactly what they need to do because of the impact that the commercial had. And listen, in automotive, the commercials are all the same. They're always throwing price points, but when you're leveraging AI, and I have seen your work, and I have to tell you, I have been very much looking forward to this today because I want to learn from you. You are the subject matter expert in production and now leveraging being influenced by AI yourself. It's the next evolution of movies. We see actors talking about this now like 24/7. It's impacting everybody. And dealers now have to be educated and aware of what the differences are. And I'm curious. Okay. So you've been doing this for over 2 decades. In your experience, what makes a great commercial stand out today? With so many influencers out there, we're all being influenced by Reels and Instagram and real storytelling and things like this, but they're all low budget,
Right.
So tell me about, like, especially for auto dealers.
Well, I don't think low budget necessarily. I mean, you can create some amazing, impactful work with no budgets, right? It's all about whether it's a big budget or not, being authentic, telling a real story. For me, when I'm addressing a brand or in this case, a dealership, I say, what is it about this dealership that they want people to know? That's the most basic, simple thing for me. What is it that people should know about us, where we are? What is it? You got the best deals? I don't know. Right. And I take that and I put that in the soup, and then I take, what are some other great things going on with this dealership? Oh, well, I think that they do this great initiative with this charity every year. I don't know. So maybe that's something we put into the mix. But ultimately, it comes down to just taking all the elements that somebody wants their viewer to know about them. And then once I have that, those are like the foundation. Then I can start getting creative and think about what's the best way to pitch that. What's the best way to make someone laugh or make someone react to that? Is it funny? Is it sad? Is it dramatic? So these are all like the fun things that never left me as a kid. I'm like, oh, now is this going to be a fun day, or is this going to be a scary day, or is this going to be whatever day? So it all comes down to, and then also knowing what's out there in that particular field for that particular client.
Yeah, because you want to stand out. You don't want to look like everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you got to do it 10x better than everybody else.
Right. So one of the things that I'm currently doing with car dealerships, or is that you're right? There was the stereotype of come on down and blah blah blah.
$299.
Whatever. It was just chock full of numbers, like you said, and that's cool. If I'm actually looking for a car right now. I got into a car crash not too long ago. So now I'm looking for a car. So we'll get into that later.
Did you guys hear that? We have a lead.
Yeah, I'm sure we do. Listen. So anyway, long story short, I don't even know what I was saying. What was the point I was saying?
It's just it's like you've got all these different pieces, and I love how you referenced a soup, because I could see myself throwing in all the ingredients on this dealer and what makes him special, whether it's complimentary maintenance or powertrain warranty, or we've been around for 100 years. I mean, everybody's got their secret ingredients, that make them unique. And then you've got to look at the market.
Now you need the sauce.
You need a sauce, and that actually, there's so many layers to this thing. I see what you're saying. It's not just telling a story, but you also have to stand apart. You've got to be different than everybody else. And you've got to weave this whole thing together now for the dealer and really make this vision come to life. Right.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So when I was approached to do car dealership commercials, and a lot of them, which was kind of cool, we can get into who and what they are. I was just basically just instinct. I'm like, I know they all suck already. Every car commercial sucks,
Well, they're all the same.
Like local dealers. I hate to say it, guys, but come on, you guys aren't, there's no Oscar nomination for the car dealership commercial. So, and nor should there be, but you can make them better, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to take all my years of telling stories for bigger brands, and it doesn't matter who the brand is. It's the same process for me, and say, what is it about the car dealerships that we can make better? And it just happened to be at the cross section of AI.
Yeah. Well, you got to fuse AI now with traditional like production, the craft.
Right. So what's great about AI, and I say this to everybody who's always very anti-AI, and I get it. I love working with human beings. I don't want to put people out of work. But times are changing, you know?
Yeah.
So, and storytelling is changing. How we tell these stories, the tools are changing. So you can either embrace them or don't. Doesn't matter to me. I am. Why not? And it's great for businesses of certain sizes and only have certain budgets. So what I've been doing is I've been able to give premier, I think, concepts and storytelling to these commercials that I think needed a nice facelift, you know?
That's a great way to put it. And listen, let's put this into perspective. So I've seen your work, and I'll put a link in the show notes. When you see this level of commercial, it really is something we haven't seen before. It is so unique. We are experienced with AI images, and we are experienced with AI in our reels and in applications like Sora, for example, I use, in our sales follow-up. But the quality of an AI image on GPT is astounding. Imagine taking that AI high quality, high res image and being able to leverage that same feel, that same high quality look into your commercials. And now everything is so animated and so beautifully done and so captivating. Quite frankly, I've just never seen anything like it, and I can only chalk it up to remarkable. But then I wonder, because what you say is this to me is the root. It's the difference, and I don't know. You tell me. But when I look at your work, I have such a respect for it because I can almost I can feel what you're trying to say to the consumer. There's a storyboard behind it. It's not just like throw crap at them, see if something sticks, price, car on the road. It's like it's actual in a story where I feel a certain way. And that is, for me, unique to you. But you tell me more about how AI is changing the way that you create ads or the advantages that it has to dealers on tighter budgets, as you mentioned.
100%. I hate to say this because, it's deflating budgets, but you can truly do amazing work at a fraction of the price.
Woo, I love this. I love saving money.
Salesman-y thing I could possibly.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to ask for numbers.
If you're smart about it and you hire the right people.
Okay.
You can make things work, because to me, it comes down to the story. And what I think is really great about AI is that, look, even when I started doing it, it wasn't perfect. There was some weird things happening or whatever, the old 6 fingers or something. Right. And, but they've gotten past that. And if you utilize AI and you treat it like you would a normal production with human beings, it's a very similar process.
Okay.
And you got to come up with the characters. Okay. You then have to animate those characters, and you got to come up with the idea even before that to even make the characters. So I think what I appreciate you enjoying the work I'm doing is because now I have access to whatever concept I want in my head. Right. And I can make something wild. I can make something reserved. I can make something funny. I can make something tense or whatever, or historical. And you couldn't do that with regular budgets without spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And most people, mom and pops on the corner or any size business these days, people tightening the belt and they don't want to spend all that much money. Right. And I think this is a wonderful alternative for people who understand that they have to promote themselves in order to make it in this business, but they also don't want to put themselves into bankruptcy because they have to do that. It should.
Well, I could really see the benefit because I'm imagining that you're leveraging your storytelling with really strong prompts. And when we think about AI imaging and videos, what you say, just the expressions alone that you're able to create by saying prompts like be friendly, trustworthy, upbeat, smile a lot, use your hands and wave and be welcoming. These things, immediately create the characters that you've designed through prompting that unfolds in such a beautiful, natural way that is, I think, cutting edge for now. Do you know
Cool.
what I mean?
Right,
Like, it's
right.
so exciting.
We've gone so AI that we're just trying to make it look human again. Why not just hire humans, right? Who knows, right? It's just this loop. But yeah, that is something I try to do. What I was trying to say is that, as the mannerisms and the nuances of their facial expressions get better,
yeah,
and and you apply the old school techniques of just knowing when to edit, knowing when to cut, knowing when to add music, knowing when to, pause the action or whatever, people will accept a lot, right? They'll accept the six finger for a second, and you won't even see that anymore, but they'll accept
because it moves too fast.
That it moves too fast, but also it's the bigger story is the strong point, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's this bigger concept that's going on. And that's how I like to treat the AI commercials, because it's no different. As we were talking earlier today, you have to come up with the idea. You have to then use a program using AI, create the characters. Okay, great. We want Jen. She's standing on a stage. She's next to a car. She's looking awesome. There's people around her. And I have to create that until I get that. And that replaced the whole casting process, right?
Sure.
Now, I don't have to cast an actor. I can create the actor. And then once I have those visuals, I then have to go to the next phase, which is truly the next phase. Is I have to then start directing and giving them prompts and make sure that they're delivering the lines with the emotion that I wanted to convey.
And the voice, you have to still find the voices.
And the voice. And there's so much technology now. You can create voices. We could take this whole conversation and make us two turtles, like we could do anything. So anyway, so it's the same process. So then there's the part where you create the characters, the part where you direct them, and the part where now we bring them all into the editing room and we put the story together and we add the music and all the spices and all the fun stuff. And we hopefully tell a story that's either funny or, I've done, as you know, looking like dozens now at this point. And if there's one thing I think that keeps them all relevant, I should say, is that there's something like human to them all. There's a story that I think connects. Like even the craziest, dumb, wild, zany ones, there's a message beyond just the gratuitous silliness, right?
Well, that probably comes from your movie background. Because when we watch movies, there's always this underlying like message. There's always this underlying like meaning that's not exactly what you see. You have to like decode it, right?
Right.
Is that what you mean?
I mean, I'm not getting that deep.
That was too deep
in a 30-second commercial, but the principles are the same. Like I want to affect people in 30 seconds. I want
and is that how long commercials are now? 30 seconds still?
Yeah. Even shorter.
Even shorter. That's what I would think. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm an AI super user. It's something that I am able to leverage into a lot of my day and a lot of the things that I do. I'm just wondering, because for me, when I first had experience with GPT images, I just couldn't even believe what I was capable of doing and the quality of for free, and it's all I have to use as running into relation to what you're saying. And I just wonder, do people think that they can just create their own commercial today because AI and all of these tools are so readily accessible? And so I imagine that the real skill here is your years and years of experience doesn't just go by the wayside. It enhances being able to produce what a dealer would need immediately, and be able to turn it around incredibly quickly. Is this true? I'm just making this up. I'm just thinking.
No. Look, I think it's important for any business to attack marketing like from every angle possible that they can afford to do, right? So if they can make videos where they're just showing videos of the car, do it. Yeah. If they can make videos where they're having the salespeople talk, do it. Right? If they could, and all by themselves on their own phones, right? Just the content, just keep the machine going. We know you just got to be in it to win it, type of thing, right? Eventually, the algorithm catches on for somebody looking for a car, right? But just keep doing it. And then I think there's what I'm doing, which is trying to take a bigger message for the brand, the bigger umbrella to what the messaging is for that particular dealership. Like we are this, and everything else are different arms on the octopus, But I try to create that first tone, like this is what the dealership represents.
Yeah.
This is who we are. This is the spirit of the dealership. And I try to do that every month for these guys.
Wow.
You know, because, and you know, when I first started doing this, I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. And I have a few guys working with me now, and it's just like, I never have a lack of an idea. Just give me a new, just give me a new company to promote, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like to me, it's like it's the same high I got as an 8-year-old playing with the Star Wars figures or G.I. Joe figures, you know?
It's always half the battle is to be able to run into people like you that have such extraordinary passion and, you know, such drive to get this right, you know. And I just wonder, for a dealer that's maybe listening and they're thinking about investing in a commercial video this year, or as you mentioned, you can now do it every month. You can get like a whole series going on.
I might know a guy. Yeah.
I might know a guy. I actually know a guy.
Right.
But what are the mistakes that you see people making, and what should they maybe focus on instead?
Well, just getting back to what you were saying before, with like, there are so many options for people to use on their phone. They can film stuff. There's AI. They can make cool transitions. They can do whatever they want. They can add a product. It's quite amazing what you can do on your phone.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything wrong or right. I think there's a market for every style of advertising that someone could do. So if someone's selling, this is a guitar pick. Someone's selling a guitar pick, and they just make this wild and crazy video, and it's some kid in his basement doing the most amazing thing, and it sells 1 million picks for them. Then that was an example of good advertising. It worked. You know, there's no secret other than, I think, just do something that's like authentic and real. It's cliche to keep saying, but it's true. Tell us what, who you are, who's your customer, what is it that makes you better? And look, there's a million reasons.
The narrative.
Yeah. I mean, just give me a story. Give me a story to tell. And like you said, I'll weave it bigger in a bigger arc, for your campaign over the long run, over the long haul, right? Because people got to keep seeing you. They got to keep seeing your messaging.
Sure, that never changes, right? Repetition.
Right. Well, listen, all those great ads with the prices. Yeah. I want to see those too. Yeah, right. Okay. I want to see those too.
You got to mix it up
with everything else that they can afford to do. Like a commercial, the videos. We've seen them all. They get people's attention. Whatever works. I wish I had better advice, but that's the truth. Okay. I think that the only thing that gets better over time would be working with people who have told those stories and they understand how to get to those bullet points faster. They know how to target the right heartstrings, and they can think of something bigger. But man, if you don't have that budget, just make videos on your own. Make sock puppets on your phone. Because now's the best time for a small business to utilize AI.
There's no doubt. I mean, we're probably going to see the most millionaires we've ever seen in our lives, because you can start a business today and you can look like $1 million because of the quality of the tools that are out there. But listen, people like me, I don't know how to use all these tools. I don't have the time. I can't be great at everything, and this is definitely one of my weaknesses. Social media, creating stories and things like this, but storytelling seems to be, you're really central to your process, and that narrative, it just seems to matter so much that you've got to be able to pull from your client, the dealer, and then be able to produce a 50-second, a 30-second slot that looks astounding, and really we live in this world ahead. So where everything is possible. Anyway, so you're looking ahead and you're thinking about the biggest opportunities for AI in automotive advertising. What is it that stands out to you? What's on your radar that we should be thinking about as we think about the branding, the look and feel of our organizations?
The $1 million question. Well, I think that you're talking about dealerships still.
Yeah, I did. I'll try to keep it automotive, but I mean, AI is evolving, and the commercial and the advertising and all of these things are being influenced. So it's like,
I mean, better than anyone how you are teaching dealerships to implement AI into their services, right?
Right. Yes.
So this is just the same concept, just in a different, field, which is saying, okay, now do the same thing. Utilize how AI is helping storytellers tell stories and how they could help you tell your story better, and do it or don't. Like I'm not right. Like either do it or don't. If you're just doing the commercials where you're making the prices and it's working,
do it.
Keep doing it.
Stay, hold.
Don't hire me, But I think you could take the same concept of prices and do something more memorable, make someone remember the price rather than just knowing. I think I saw a commercial with prices.
Yeah, who's really good at this is Hyundai. I really enjoy all of their commercials. They all have. As I'm kind of drawing upon that as I talk to you, because they're very, very good at telling a story. It's not just showing a car or a lifestyle. It's really having this humorous moment or something in there that makes you giggle, and it makes it memorable.
Right.
And the more you see it, the more you remember the thing that made you giggle. And frankly, I feel that a lot of your work does something similarly.
Oh, cool.
I've watched a lot of your reels, and I find it was crazy because I think I sent you a text message on this. My kids are 12 and 13. You can't keep their attention for anything. They have a very short attention span. I started watching all your videos and I was like, oh, come on here. What do you guys think of these videos? Have you seen anything like this? Because we all watch like digital TV, we don't even have like cable. And they were like so fascinated by the story. And that's when it really struck me that, it's the storyline is the piece that is missing in a lot of regular traditional car dealer ads. They're just throwing stuff at you, or you see the owner of the dealership or a dealership representative just spewing off specials, and you don't feel connected in a human way. It's more of they're just trying to sell me.
Right.
But there's so many great things that dealers offer. They truly are one of the biggest taxpayers in a state. They are donating to community more than anybody else.
Right.
They are leaders in every industry that impacts progress in a community. And I don't think oftentimes they tell that story enough to connect with people.
So that's interesting, because when funny story, how I ended up in this business. I have some family who's a GM, and I don't know if I say names or not. I didn't talk to him. His name is Tom. And he works for a very large company, and they treated me very well. They took a chance on AI. Okay. And I started working with all the dealerships, and they're a great bunch of guys. And what I would do is I met with every single one of them. I met with all the GMs, and I said, immerse me in this world, and tell me, what is it like that you're proud of? What is it that and they would tell me, oh, we did a lot of community outreach, blah, blah, whatever it might be. We've done this. I go, these are all great things. One of them had an initiative for, police officers and nurses. And I said, that's incredible. I go, it's time to give back to the neighborhood that's been protecting us. And that became the messaging for at least that commercial. Because why not? And that's important to do. It's like just getting to the core messaging of and again, they had a lot more than just that messaging, which is great. That's why I say now you can do this monthly, because
it's a series.
Right. You've introduced the charitable aspect. Next month you introduce
hit them with the specials.
Right. Nenext month you introduce.
Why is this a great place to work?
Right. And just keep delivering them month after month or quarter after quarter. You gotta keep reminding people.
That sort of drip branding is something that I've been recommending, because in sales follow-up. And I'll give you a quick example, because I really see this, and I think this is almost feeling like an emergence of something very niche for car dealers. So this drip branding that I've promoted. So here's the thing. A lot of their leads are internet leads, and these people are 6 months, 8 months out. So you can't keep telling them like specials, incentives, rebates, low price leases. They're not in the market. So there's only an X amount of percentage of people that are going to see the ad that are actually in market buyers. Okay. But there's other things that matter to people. So if you're thinking about a drip branding campaign, I always said, listen, think about the things you're proud of. Think about who somebody in your company that started off as the porter and now they're the general manager. This is a career path. This is an opportunity to attract next gen leaders. There's also customers that have been in real problem situations that have impacted their credit and being upside down in their vehicle. And we're faced with these problems with car buyers every day. Why don't we talk about solving these problems problems as part of our brand building. Who built this company? Who are these founders? What did they do for our community?
Right.
What sort of associations are you investing?
Why do we care?
Why do we care? Why do we care about our customers? Why do we care about our people? Why do we exist? And that's the piece that's missing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, I wish everybody had all the money in the world so they could just keep advertising and advertising, because it's so important,
Yeah.
But you can be smart about it, and you can know who your demographics are, and you can spend your ad buys the way you want to spend them and mold them to your demographics that you're, reaching out to. But, yeah, no.
This is your multi-million dollar brand, is what I say. You have been investing millions into this brand identity. And what you're doing through AI video, any sort of ads, is your character building. You're letting people know what they're getting for their money and why they should be choosing you. They have to see the value and they got to see the benefits, but they've got to be able to connect and relate. And I have to tell you, Jarett, this has been really awesome for me. And I really appreciate you breaking down not just what's possible with AI video, but the storytelling impact and the importance of it. It's the heart of every great commercial.
Well, listen, thanks for having me. I could talk about it forever. I feel like I barely said anything. I don't know if I gave any solid advice here or not. But
no, but I think you're starting to bring it together so we can see, this is a little short film, and it's leveraging today's tools to stay relevant and stand apart.
AI is the tool for the visionary. Okay. Woo! That's what's happening right now. Yeah. Because right now, the people with the ideas are the ones who are thriving because they can do it themselves. Or they can make it happen themselves, on a smaller capacity. So I think the idea, it's always been about the ideas since the beginning of time, right?
Yeah.
the best cave fire story. But, I think that it all comes down to the story. It does.
I know. That's your thing.
Since day one, every single brand I ever worked with, I've never approached it differently. Nothing.
How about that?
Nothing.
How about that?
Seriously, because to me, it's all you're pulling on the same information.
Yeah.
The only thing that has to change is, well, now when it's time to actually make this commercial, what do we really have as far as a budget, right? And that would modify how we come up with the creative concept. But like now with AI, you want a unicorn jumping over the moon. You want, your dealership.
Anything is possible.
Blasting off into space. Anything is possible. But I will say this. Some of the pieces that I love the most are the ones that are subtle, or they're dry humor, and it's all within the facial reaction of somebody, because that is what I would look for in an actor.
Yeah, a human.
Right. So I have a good BS filter on because I'm used to working with real people for a long time. So now when I see AI that looks, I don't feel it in my gut. That doesn't feel natural.
Yeah.
And then you find the right nuance, and then you cut it and you make it perfect, and you feel it. I actually just made something. I'll share it with you. Maybe after the show, you can share it or whatever. But it was a little piece that I sent for a friend of mine who was very anti-AI, his boss, and he wanted me to work with him. So we put together this little piece that was all these human little moments mixed with a voiceover that explains that AI, the future of AI, is human. Right?
Yeah.
So, it's, I'll share it. Maybe some of your viewers want to see it, but
sure.
That's what I love about it. Now when I first started, I was making more outlandish things, and that got the attention to people, and that was great. And it still does, but AI is getting more sophisticated, and you can make more, I think, more intellectual humor. There's more nuance to your creations now.
I really love everything that you just said in ending this episode. It just really hits home because I think about all of the high production kind of what are they? It's not. It feels like Disney movies, the characters of, some of the celebrities that are behind these voices, but then they create these characters that are just so cute and appealing, and you're trying to find a way to humanize them. There has to be something in each of those characters that feels human. So I see what you're saying with the little gestures, the things that make our emotion shine in our facial expressions.
Also, I think common situations, like there's a husband with a wife. There could be people
Oh, yeah.
it's the situations I try to put the people in that are relatable. Waiting online for Santa who's not there. You know, they're cliche, but they give a good stage to show some human interaction. You know,
there's so many layers to this thing.
It's great. Like I said, it's a total sandbox for me personally. You know, like just to be able to just go, I can do this now. I can do that. I can talk and I can change the person. I can, you know, you can use it as just a CGI machine, or you can use it as AI. You can use it as whatever you want. I think it's quite amazing, and I'm all for it. You know, I try to be friendly with my AI in case they do take over. I'm like, listen, I was rooting for you. You know,
yeah, I was on your team.
Right, save my bank account, save my, you know, keep the lights on, please. You know?
Well. I have to tell you, I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. But thank you so much for helping dealers everywhere. So. Yeah, well, you're helping them raise the bar on how they show up, you know, in the market.
I think that your audience is sophisticated enough. It's a big purchase. There's a lot of emotions going into it. I'm sure some people are just like, I need a car. But, you know, a lot of people, I know how I am.
Second biggest purchase.
Right. I'm researching, I'm comparing, I'm doing all this crap. And ultimately, you have to go sit in one and drive one in order to make that final decision, right? Like that's a real process. I would take that and try to put that into a commercial because people can relate to, I got to go through this whole process. Well, show them how easy it is.
Yeah, show them how easy. That was like I was saying, that you take the buyer's pain points and turn them into the story so that they can see that we solve it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes, I think this is a new wave, and I'm happy to hear it. I'm with you.
It's the delivery. It's the delivery, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you've really opened our eyes to like just all the little nuances, all the little things that I don't think listen, in a commercial, I don't think we ever had to think about because you are hiring actors to execute the feels. Now you have to be like, hey, I got a guy that's got to be skilled enough to be able to replicate a human feel on an AI character and have them seamlessly work into the story and feel relatable to people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen, we're there.
Just pick one customer and just talk to them.
Yeah.
Talk to your customer. if you had them in front of you, what would you say? How would you convince them? How would you?
Oh, your little elevator pitch, right? Yeah.
And then that says a lot, you know, about how people, you know, their style, and maybe that spawns an idea for a commercial. You know, I think a while ago I did a spot for a dealership where we filmed real people. And I think that was probably one of the questions I asked him. I think I was just like, you know, what is it about this place? It was Advantage Toyota.
Okay.
Hint.
Yeah.
Great Toyota. Everyone watching, go in there. Buy a Toyota. Good peeps over there. My boy Tommy. Anyway, yeah, no, all good. But I think that it is wonderful. Utilize it. Call me. I'll help you utilize it.
Well, I think people could hear, you know, your passion, your love. Most importantly, I think they have a good starting point now of what they could be thinking before they take the jump and explore their options.
Right. But just do it. Just try it.
Do it. Yeah, just try it. What do you got to lose?
If you don't like it, you don't like it. And the ones on your phone, you could probably make a car fly, you know, just do it. Do something that gets people's attention.
Well, there's more to the story than just that.
I know. Dude, you got to do it. You got to do a little bit of everything. You got to do the funny ones. Right. But I think that, you know, there's a reason why large car companies, they do a campaign and they, you know, for the year or whatever it is that they promote this new vehicle, this new incentive. They're baked into this brand now, you know, like, it's great. Like, you know, December to remember, like these things that are baked, you know, subconscious now.
Yes.
Right?
We all know that one.
Right.
And I think that ultimately that's the success of a strong ass ad campaign. Honda days.
You know what? Listen to this one, Jen. I was doing a commercial and it was the Honda. And I was playing around with Suno or one of these musical AIs, and I created an amazing song Happy Honda days, and I was like, what? I'd made another one that was like a Charles Dickens type of, like Christmas Carol.
Like AI?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
and then
that
you're
makes
able
sense.
to make their mouths sync up, and it's an amazing.
Wow, that's
like I said,
neat.
I feel like a kid, like Weird Science, where I should have the bra on my head, and I feel like Frankenstein right now. I can do whatever I want with AI.
Outstanding. Thank you so much. Thank you, my friend. I'll put all of his show notes. I'll put his reels. I'll put everything in the show notes so you guys can check out his work.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki. Don't forget, my weekly live classes are designed to keep your team fired up, skilled up, and focused on results. Subscribe right now at edealersolutions.com. See ya!